Hello again. It's been quite a while since I've done a Photoshop tutorial, so I thought that I would get back into the swing of things and create another one. Everyone seemed to like my previous tutorials, so I think I will start a new series. If you like that idea, please like and make a comment below. And please feel free to make a suggestion of what sort of tutorials that you would like to see, and I will do my best to create tutorials that would help you, my audience, as best as I can. For today's tutorial, I want to show how to constrain text to a specific shape. If you've ever done a concrete poem, then you may have had to deal with this sort of thing. Concrete poem is a body of text, a poem, and it takes the form of a specific shape, usually about what the poem is talking about. So the easiest way to do that, of course, would be to use something like Photoshop or Illustrator or GIMP or any of the other numerous products that are out there. You can use things like Word, of course, and put in lots of tabs and spaces and try to constrain your text that way. But I think, as you'll see here in just a moment, this is a much faster, simpler, and easier way to do it. So I'm going to start by creating a new document, and this is going to be an 8.5 by 11, so the size of a sheet of paper, here in the US at least. And it's going to just have a white background. We're not concerned about high res or anything for purposes of this tutorial. One of the first things that I always do, of course, is unlock the background layer. Gives you a bit more freedom in the future should you need to do anything with that layer. And now I'm going to just create a simple shape. We're going to do that using the shape tool, but you could easily use the pen tool and draw out a path of what you're looking for, and that really is the key. We want a path that we can use to define the shape that our text is going to take. For our purposes here, with the path tool, we're just going to make a heart shape. We could do any of these, but I think the heart shape will get across the point nicely. And if we're going to do that, make sure that you have the second option for the shape tool turned on. That'll create a blank path. It won't fill it in or anything, so we won't have any cleanup to do later on. And then you simply draw your shape. So we'll just draw a heart here right in the middle of our page. And you can see, if we jump over here to the paths palette, that we indeed have a work path defined in the shape of a heart. And that's our first step done. The next thing to do would be to put in our text, so we'll need the text tool to be able to do that. And again, we can choose whatever fonts we may want to use. I think for this particular sample, since it's a heart, we'll use the Vivaldi, and we'll make our text red. Simple enough. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and throw our text into the shape. Now, this is really the only tricky part that we need to be aware of when it comes to constraining text to a path. You have two options. You can either constrain the text to the path itself, in other words, the text would follow the path, or we can constrain the text inside of the path or the shape that we have defined. It's easy to see which one you're going to end up with by looking at the cursor. If you see a circle, like we see now, that's going to constrain the text inside of the shape. If we move our cursor to the line, you'll see that the cursor changes and it's no longer a circle, but there's a short line underneath, and that indicates that the text will be constrained to the path. For our purposes here, we're going to place it inside of the heart. So we make sure that we have a circle, and then we click. You'll see the bounding box for our text appear, and it is the same size as our heart shape, of course, and it automatically picks the top portion, the most upper section of our path. That's something important for you to remember. If this were more of an irregular shape, and we had parts that were high and parts that were a little lower, even if you click down at a lower part, it's still going to constrain itself to the uppermost part of the shape. And then for our purposes here, I just have some sample text that I'm going to paste in, and we'll go ahead and bump up the font size to fill up the entire heart, just like that. And of course, all of our text tools are available to us, so we could left justify or right justify, choose a different font, choose a different color, whatever it is that we want to do with that. And then when we're all done, we can either click on the check mark to accept the text, or you can always do a Control Enter. I like keyboard shortcuts a lot. And there you go. We have text constrained inside of our shape. If you're concerned about the path being there, remember paths don't print out, and we can show that by going to the print dialog box and looking at the preview, and as you can see, there's no path around our heart-shaped text. Alright, that's all there is to it. I hope you find this tutorial useful, and thank you for watching. And again, please like this if you do indeed like it, and enter any comments below if you would like to see something specific in the future, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask those. I try to answer questions in a timely manner, if they are reasonable questions, of course. Alright, thank you for watching, and again, I hope this proves useful.